What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Shout out to the Bird Gang. The funniest Larry Bird trash talk story. The full story. Now, this is regarding Shawn Kemp and Larry Bird. And I know Shawn Kemp was on All the Smoke podcast not too long ago, so it may pull some parts from that Matt Barnes and Stats, Steven Jackson's podcast with Shawn Kemp on it, is my hunch. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Shawn Kemp's rookie year was the 89-90 season, drafted by the Seattle Supersonics. Now, as far as overlap goes with Bird, the 89-90 season would be Larry Bird's return after his double Achilles surgery for the bone spurs, because the year previous to that, the 88-89 season, Larry Bird had only played 6 games before he shut it down. Right, so this Shawn Kemp's rookie year would be in that window of Larry Bird going out the door in his last 3 years, inside that window. And coming off that surgery, Larry Bird was still a beast, still putting up over 24 points per game, grabbing damn near 10 rebounds, about 6-7 assists, something like that. Off the double Achilles, Larry Bird out the door. The quote-unquote downhill of Larry Bird's career. Think about that. Until the back got so unbearable, he just had to part ways with the league. Larry Bird had a lot of good years left, man. It's unfortunate that back put his ass out, man. But anyway, so you can see if they talk about, which I imagine they're going to talk about Kemp's rookie year. That's my guess. A lot of guys get on there and talk about how, you know, these legends whipped their ass in their rookie year. Yeah, he came back to a 24 point per game Larry Bird. How about that? But we'll see what happens. Let's get into the reaction. The funniest Larry Bird trash talk story by Nick Smith, NBA. Let's get into it.
X-Man told a story on Tim Thomas and Scoop B's podcast about Larry Bird talking shit to you, saying,
man, I'm going to keep this real with y'all, man. My ass got busted real early, man. I came into the league, man. I was 19. You know how some of them vets, man, they play you to the T, man. I got played down in Boston one night. We was playing Boston Celtics. So the great Larry Bird, I didn't really know much about, I'm from Indiana, Larry's from Indiana. I knew about the history of Larry, but I didn't realize how he really got down. Larry Bird gave me, 45 3/4.
The first game?
First time I played against him.
What year was this for you?
This was my first year.
Oh, okay.
And welcome once again, everyone, to a sold-out Boston Garden, where tonight the Celtics look to snap a 2-game losing streak. And they'll be facing a hot basketball team, the Seattle Supersonics, making their only appearance here in Boston. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Tom Heinsohn. Welcome to our coverage.
And me and Larry are from the same place in Indiana. And I had a great privilege of not knowing Larry, but I played against his brother Eddie, coming up through the ranks a little bit.
Meet Eddie Bird, who's walking down the same street his big brother Larry did at Indiana State. Well, almost. As it turns out, Eddie may not have to find out the hard way at all. Like Larry, he may just go with his strength.
Right now, I would say, I wouldn't be a pro basketball player. I think next year I might try out for the baseball team here at Indiana State, and hopefully I can, I'd rather go in that career than I would basketball.
So I was the young guy that kind of came up through the history in Indiana and kind of broke a lot of Larry Bird's records. So Larry kind of had already known about me a little bit. First of all, we got to Boston that night. I knew something wasn't right. I saw an X-Man. He was limping around the court a little bit like he was sore. I figured he'd be all right, you know.
Xavier McDaniel.
The X-Man came up with a sore knee that game. Andre, he had some knee pain. I was like, it's a hell of a time for you to come up with a knee pain. Right before the game. You know, Larry, I ain't going tonight. You got
you don't want to see that.
Yeah, then I look at the boy, Shawn Kemp, Larry, and I'm like, so, you know, I look in the mirror, I'm like, well, shit, man, I'm about to get this motherfucker fits out here tonight. So before the game, I was over there rubbing my hands looking at him like, I'm about to get your ass, man. And that morning, they came out with a USA Today article, and they said that Larry didn't have it no more.
Ooh.
But unfortunately, my rookie season, it was an article that came out in the paper, USA Today, and it said that Larry didn't have it anymore. We were the next game that the Celtics played in the Boston Garden. And of course, I took the challenge on. It's only Larry Bird. He puts his shorts on the same way I do, right? And I'm from Indiana. Larry's from Indiana. I broke a lot of his records in high school.
Did you really?
And he let me know about it the whole entire game. Absolutely. Well, first of all, he asked me to jump ball. He said, you the cat that broke all my records in high school, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's me. He goes, yeah, you're the one that used to dunk my brother too, right? Like Eddie. And I was like, yeah, that's me. He said, I got something for you tonight. He let me know from the start of the game what he was going to do. He really did. He let me know. He told me, he was like, you're the one that broke all my records. I said, yes. He said, so he basically said, I have something to show you tonight.
Oh my! he was hitting everything,
and he talked to me the whole entire game.
Bird will take the first shot.
He just shook his head at me. He said, "Man, it's gonna be a fucked up night for you." So he came out that night to make a statement, and I was just the prime candidate.
For Boston's offense, if they play half court.
Bird again. He's 2 for 2.
Well, all right.
A good sign. Bird really pushed McKee out of the spot. No call. Larry on a wing.
Pull up. No hesitation. Buckets.
Quick double. Finds Dennis Johnson in and out.
Look at rebound, bro.
During the game, Shawn Kemp was guarding Larry.
Bird on the 20.
Double Achilles.
I mean, Larry's just like talking shit. Bernie calls a timeout.
Seattle will take a 20-second timeout.
Bernie calls a timeout. I was like, hey, what the fuck that motherfucker says, man? Shawn Kemp was guarding Larry. He was like,
he said,
I'm the best motherfucker from Indiana and shot a
3 in the my ball.
Takes a fall away. Oh!
That's true.
It is very true, man.
I was like, oh, shit.
Bird open.
Bang.
Hits on the baseline.
Smooth.
Larry got free.
Catch, drift, fade. Bang.
Squares up.
That release, boy.
Everybody like, Larry Bird lit you up. My mama, she's like, everybody saying he came out of the house and called and talking about Larry Bird lit your ass up for 42. I said, what? I said, that much. That was the year we got Derek McKee, and Derek was on it.
If you can play defense, you're going to be in the game at some point. Back then, with the Sonics, I know I played on like one of the more versatile teams that I played on, because we could switch everything. And when Cage was playing at center, we had Shawn at the 4. I think for me, playing defense is like somebody who's more offensive minded. They get a thrill out of scoring. So for me, I get a thrill out of stopping somebody.
He was actually calling out bank shots. He would say, next time, bank shot left side.
Larry, little runner, goes off the glass. Oh, boy.
So every shot he was calling, at the defensive end, he would tell me, he'd be like, when I get down to the other end, I'm going to pump fake you. Your dumb ass gonna go for it. Get a hand one on you. Look at you. Go off the glass. That's how cold Larry Bird was.
He would tell you that, and it happened.
Bird flashing through. Tough shot. Knocks it down. 25. Bird for three, and he got it outside with 5. Kale there, long outlet to Bird. McMillan won't catch it.
And runs, saying, prove it to me, Dennis, you can hit the outside shot.
Celtics have forced more turnovers tonight than in any other game this year, as Bird is now at 34 and counting.
I said, first of all, I'm gonna be so close to you. If you shoot the ball next year, I'm gonna try to rip your fucking arm off your shot. Hey, what you think he did, man? A quick pump fake, dog, and you go for that shit here. Ah!
Bird again for 2.
Well, this is not really going to be one.
So he really talked like that. Got you.
Man, come on, man. Come on, Larry was.
How cold was? I don't think.
Man, I guarded his ass so tough.
40-point triple.
I guarded his ass so tough.
I'm gonna foul him so hard that he's basically gonna take his will. He started shooting the ball with his left hand, man. I was trying to foul his right arm. He was shooting with his left hand. Banking the ball for me, looking at me, still, slapping me on my butt and everything, man, telling me everything.
Now see, that's something that he didn't hit you. He didn't hit you on the butt. Now I got to fight you.
I guarded his ass so tough that after the game,
he said, that's the best defense I've seen so far, the best effort. He actually invited me to his house that summer after the game, man.
He gave me like 45 or 48 in those 3 quarters. After the game, he actually reached out to me and told me I could come down and work out with him in the summertime.
Wow.
He sent a little letter over there to me. He was like, I've had nobody play defense that hard on me.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
He go, I appreciate you playing out here. Then he was like, I got a little All-Star game. Why don't you come work out with me? Come to All-Star game, man.
So you still compete.
50 and 3 quarters, but that was the best effort I've seen in a long time. You come to the house and shoot around with me. This summer I show you how to shoot the ball, young fella. So after meeting Larry and then him saying, yo, I think you got some talent. I'd like to work with you a little bit. Of course, man, that meant everything to me. So absolutely, man. I learned a lot from Larry. Hey, shit, that meant everything to me.
Yeah, that's good.
You guys became friends after
absolutely,
that. To this
man.
day?
Absolutely. So it went from him whooping my ass to him teaching me a few things. I mean, you pick your battles, man. I learned you just said Larry Bird. I learned my very first lesson to Larry Bird.
Bird had a game like you had 2 years ago. Played just a fantastic game shooting-wise. Came out early, started hitting the shots. Played a lot of minutes.
Well, let's pay some tribute here to Larry Bird. He is our Anheuser-Busch player of the game, and Larry with the triple-doubles tonight and was doing it from just about every angle.
Well, in addition to that, he was playing some great defense, going out and challenging people, and making all the great plays. Ends up on the front end of the break, ended up in the middle of the fast break as a middleman. Did an outstanding job, as always, on the defensive boards, passed the ball. But his shooting was there tonight, and that's what this team really needs. And Larry Bird to hit those shots at key points in the ball game, which he did.
My hunch was right. Figured it was a rookie year story. But yeah. Now, some people describe things from way back when, and some of the details may be a little murky. And I think the overlying message to Bird, to Kemp, is probably mostly accurate. But I noticed he said something. He went from that was the best defense to that was some of the best defense I've seen, or the best defense I've seen in a long time. And I think that would be probably the most accurate statement, because I've always heard and read that for Larry, it was Michael Cooper that played the best defense on him. And I think those words came from Larry Bird himself, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But first of all, I'm glad to see Shawn Kemp on the panels and talking. He had got into something not too far in the past involving someone stealing his cell phone in the parking lot and pulling out a gun, something like that. So glad to see he's back on the panel and sharing stories. He looks healthy. Well, he looks healthier from the last time I seen him, and looks good. So shout out to Shawn Kemp, man, one of the most athletic players we've ever seen in the NBA. The Rain Man was a damn good player when he was at his peak. No question about that. But yeah, I was looking at, on the video, they had the Sports Illustrated magazine cover that they posed, and it was like, what's wrong with Larry Bird? Hey, listen, the guy came off of a double Achilles surgery body beaten up, problematic back. You know what I mean? So it might not be the 29 point per game, damn near 10 rebound Larry Bird shooting over 40% from the field, 50% or 40% from 3-point land, 50% from the field. It might not have been quite that, given the injuries and him toughing it out and still playing. But the guy was, just from a box score, or not box score, but from a statistical vantage, 24, like I said, damn near 10, 7 rebounds. And I could imagine his field goal, I think that season his 3-point percentage dipped into the 30s, the low 30s. And his field goal percentage, maybe not 50s, but still pretty damn good at around, 47, 48? So, I mean, the dude was still one of the best players in the league on his downhill trajectory. You know what I mean? It's crazy. He's coming off he's coming off a season where he only played 6 games at that. 6 games played, surgery, return to the NBA. So, I think that magazine cover is a bit misleading. Somebody might look at that and be like, Bird must have really fell off. Bird must have really sucked. It's like, they pump the brakes. Was he still prime Bird? No. But he was still good enough to whip anybody's ass any given night, and he still did a lot of that in that season. But listen, Bird one's those guys that always gave it to the rookies, man. And if there was any type of history that Bird can look at, his roots to ISU, Indiana, his brother, Larry Bird's a bit of a troll, man. He sees that, he's gonna talk shit in your face, and he's gonna make some funny ass comments, and he's gonna give you the work in the business. Larry Bird has done that to a lot of some people like to haze rookies a certain way. Bird was gonna give you that hazing on the basketball court. I love hearing those stories, man. Anyway, shout out to the Bird gang. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Chime in the comment section, and I catch y'all on the next one. Shout out again to Dutch T. We out, baby.